hanging out for a few minutes, but then I have to go downstairs to grab some things that are being delivered, and then we will probably start again. Everyone is welcome here. God be with you too. Well, good evening. Thank you so much for just hanging out. This is, this is not anything formal. As you can see, I uh, took my collar off. I'm curious if you've actually ever seen what this looks like. Most priests that you know, just a moment here. Most priests that you know or see, typically, unless you're seeing the Pope or something, or cardinals dressed up for the nines, they wear what we call a clergy shirt. So it is black like this. And they wear a tab collar. So it's about this long and it just goes inside. And then if you look at, again, bishops and priests and popes, when they're more formal, of course, the Pope always is, and some bishops always are, they'll wear what you would call the full Roman collar. You know, you can see that's probably backwards, but it's made in Italy. They have things here for ventilation that don't really work. But it's people say it's less comfortable. I've never found that to be true. But then again, I've worn the tab collar just a couple times in my whole priestly career of 17 years. And it was almost always by mistake. I ordered something or other and it was delivered as one of those collars. This is called the Roman collar. And so the shirt you would wear is different because it doesn't slide into place. Again, the one you're normally typically is probably about this big, and it's not dual like this. It's just a single thing. And so it's a tab. Anyways, but this is an actual clerical shirt, and I'll just show you how it works. Since we're just killing time, I'm at the hotel here in Chinatown. Tomorrow I fly 15 hours. It's going to be a hell of a trip. It's fine. I mean, I love traveling. It's in my blood. It's in my DNA. So, but this works. These are little tabs. I'll just show you what this is actually. These are detachable. So when you wash your shirt, take it out. That's what it looks like. And there's one here. So essentially like the last button is this. And there's one back here. You can see that. And here's why. So you'll see the little notch right there. So the way it works is, whoops, you close your shirt like this. And by the way, this actually hurts your fingers. And the cassock itself, the cassock which I wear there is all the buttons, you know. And I don't know if I'm getting old and getting arthritis. By the way, today's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I'm 48 years old today on the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. I always just stretch it out like that. And then you take that little thing there. You have to pop it into place there. Okay. So now that's attached. Then this wraps around. You saw that one behind? Whoops. Like there, snaps. This one wraps around, snap. And it's the arthritis in my fingers. I tell you what, this is getting more difficult. All right. Boom, you've got a Roman collar on. And you can see, if you see how this is totally different than a tab collar. Like you feel this, right? Like you put your neck down, it's digging in a little bit. So you kind of learn how to move a little bit. But I'm just showing you this because I've got nothing else to say right now. I'm waiting for some deliveries because what did I do? I got everything packed. I'll be gone for more than, considering today, I'll be gone for more than a month. And so I had everything packed. And what did I do? I just forgot the most, like, okay. So I use an electric razor. So I packed that. I bought a new cleansing thing for it. I mean, so fancy. But what did I forget? The charger. And where I'm going, the chances that I'm going to find a Norelco 9000 series charger, yeah, no. So I had to sit here tonight. What else did I forget? I forgot deodorant. I forgot toothbrush and toothpaste. What else did I forget? I'm going to be visiting some people, and I wanted to bring them Mexican candy, the spicy candy. If you've ever had, like, it's crazy. It's delicious. But it's like sweet and not sour, sweet and spicy. Okay. Also, I'll show you. You've probably seen me doing a bunch of stuff for my teeth lately, like my dental health with my fundraiser, and so I'll be doing that on this trip. My first dental appointment is this coming Friday, so I'll literally be traveling for about starting tomorrow. Well, leaving the hotel here about 8:30 a.m. California time, and then getting to the airport, getting checked in through security. Flight leaves a little bit after noon California time. 15 hours to the first stop. 2.5 hour layover there, and then an hour and a half to my final destination. So if you add all that up, that's literally what I'll be doing. But yeah, so I thought I had everything ready to go. I mean, you know how that is, right? And it's because I'm doing this all by myself, and I'm discombobulated, and I'm thinking about everything ahead of time, and oh yeah, I've got everything ready to rock and roll. But then, like I said, like my electric razor will be useless after just a day or two because I can't charge it. So I ordered the old fashioned kind and some shaving cream. That's going to be delivered here in just a few minutes. It's 10 o'clock at night in California. So I'm just watching for, uh, DoorDash is, you can't see it anyways. DoorDash is moving right now to get the stuff ready. And so I'm going to meet them down in the lobby in just a second. I'll probably take this off, And that's another thing. I'm exhausted. I'm tired, And so tomorrow I have to make the decision. Like, am I going to wear the cassock or am I going to go incognito? And I feel so guilty because I have to tell you something. Like, I'm not. If you followed me online or however, let's see who's here. And I can't see your names, but I can see what platform. All right, so you got YouTube and Twitch, and the majority of are coming in from X, right? So I'm not critical of priests who don't go outside in public and look like priests. A lot of priests today get dressed up when they're in the parish, and then when they leave the parish, they put on like a polo t-shirt or whatever because they don't want to be bothered in the grocery stores or wherever they're going. And airports are a place where bothered is the wrong word, but that's, as a human, that's how we think sometimes. It's like, oh God, I just want to sit down. Once I go through like all the stuff, I want to find like the bar, that also serves food, and order something ridiculous, which of course is 3 times as much as it would be in the outside world. But what I really like is to order like a Bloody Mary, like everyone else does. I don't know why Bloody Marys are so popular at airports. Do you notice that? They really are. They're delicious. I mean, I am trying to think, when was the last time I had a Bloody Mary not at an airport? I can't remember. And so, and if you don't know what that is, it's essentially a good Bloody Mary anyways, is going to be some kind of a tomato juice, something spicy. You got to put, I don't know what it is, but something that gives it just a little bite. And I believe it's vodka and some salt and some other things to make it delicious. But that's the vodka, the spicy stuff, and the tomato juice are what makes a Bloody Mary a Bloody Mary. And so, delivery in progress. Let's see what we're doing here. Let me just make sure. Like I said, well, now that's interesting. See, I had to order from 2 different places, CVS and something else, This one says they're picking it up. The other one says delivery in progress, but it shows the same driver. So I'm assuming that they're going to, anyways. But so yeah, the question is like, because like tonight I was walking around in Chinatown, Los Angeles, right? Fully dressed, intentionally so, but when you're about to get on a plane for 15 hours, it can be mentally exhausting. But at the same time, I'm trying to think like over the years, the special people I've met in airports. And first of all, it's because people who are traveling in general, like not everyone travels, right? because they can't or they don't want to. And so the people who do travel for whatever reason, like their perspective on the world and on life, or even things like the faith and cultures, are different. They are different from people who don't travel. But there's also, I think, like, this is me speculating now, but I feel like it's a well-formed speculation. There are people who, when they're traveling, are more conscious of their mortality. Now, air travel, for example, when an accident happens, it's very dramatic, right? It's all over the global news. Everyone talks about it. Even though the statistics, which don't lie, the statistics show like there is no safer way of traveling on planet Earth than flying, right? And yet, when you think about the faith you're putting in, like the airline you choose, to say like, I'm going to get into this cylinder. B, for me, like flying is over the ocean. Like tomorrow, once we leave Los Angeles, we're not like skirting around the land. No. We're just going straight out over the water for 15 hours. So think of the faith you put in that, right? And like when you're first sitting in the airplane and you listen to the flight attendants talking, but then who are you really listening for when it comes to faith for flying 15 hours over water? We've got an unstable connection, guys. Darn it. I hope that's going to correct itself. Hope you're able to hear me. But so who are you really listening for? You're listening for the captain. When the captain finally comes on, and you can get like a yippity flyboy type captain, right? If you've flown a lot, you know what I'm talking about. Or you can get that captain who's kind of short, doesn't say a lot, but by the way he speaks, he's a beacon of authority. You can hear it. You can hear the experience in his voice or her voice. Although if we're honest with ourselves, there are not many her voices yet with that kind of experience. They're getting there. Probably, I'm trying to think, have I ever been out over the water for like long haul like this and heard a woman's cap? No, I've never had. Ralph, I would never confirm or deny where I'm going publicly. Of course, I'll talk to you privately, but publicly, I don't tell people exactly where I'm going. I give them general ideas. But so you listen for the captain's voice, and boy, on these long haul flights, those are always captains with experience. My uncle, my dad's older brother, Uncle Bill, was a senior captain for Delta Airlines. And I remember growing up, like Uncle Bill would be flying from the United States to Tokyo. And when he retired on one of the wide body jets, and he landed in his hometown. He was from Minnesota like the rest of us. But he landed in looks like it says there is delivery in progress here. I'm just going to check this, guys, okay? Because I don't want to be up here talking to you and then I happen to miss it. Okay, so it says it's going to be here in 10 minutes. So, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on that. And then what I'll probably do is start a hymn. Now, the parts that's going to suck about this is that when I start a hymn and I'm not here to fix it, like to change it, it's going to start again. But I do have some chant that should take long enough. It's like a 7 to 10 minute chant. So I'll start that up when I'm going to run downstairs to grab what I need to grab when I see he's getting closer. But anyways, Uncle Bill, was a senior captain for Delta and was running, I don't remember if it was Dallas or Atlanta, but it was one of those two to Tokyo. And of course, this would be in like the 1980s, early 90s. He's retired now, But, he was he's a great example of someone who's been there for 40 years. You don't get that kind of responsibility as a rookie, to take 300 plus souls out over the water, because if you have any kind of issue at all, you have to. But anyways, long story short, the reason we started talking about this was that there's actual people who, when they're and this is what I was trying to say, like, tomorrow, am I going to just dress in a t-shirt and sweatpants like I want to and go to the airport and not care? I don't care. People see me at that, because right now when you go out, not like this, but when I wear the cassock or whatever, like, you're seen. That's part of the reason you wear it. It's like a cop wears a uniform for a reason, not because he likes it, because he wants to be seen. Same thing for a priest who's out there dressed to the nines. Your intention is, hey, I'm here in case anybody here needs it. And so when you're flying, even though it's the safest form of travel on earth, because of that faith you're putting in the aircraft, the airline, the crew, the ground crew, the flight crew, people are naturally, when they see a priest at the airport or a nun, oh my gosh, oh, there's a sister over there, there's a priest over there, there's a priest on our plane, or whatever it is. And so I can't tell you also, like, the other parts of that, like people who are business travelers, and boy, oh boy, they saw that mistress on this trip, and they see a priest, and it's like, oh boy, Father, can I talk to you? Yep, you can. So, no, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. I guess when I get up in the morning, I'll kind of say a prayer. I hope you guys will pray for me. It'll be 20 plus hours of travel starting tomorrow. And once I get there now, interestingly enough, this is actually going to be a downtime for me, theoretically, where some aspects of my life are going to really chill, and so it'll allow me to focus on, first of all, just recovering, getting my teeth, my whole mouth is going to be reconstructed, and so that's really important to me. And if you haven't helped with the fundraiser and you want to, it's on my X right now, somewhere on there. It's not my pinned post right now, but if you just look in the highlights or whatever, you'll see it. Now I'll repost it again the next few days. We're almost there. 35% left to go on it, and we're done, But I'm going to spend a lot of time writing when I'm there. Not just threads, but articles. Like, we're going to finish the 7 Deadly Sins series. A lot of people really like that. We're going to start some other series. I'm waiting for my subscriptions on X to go live. It's going to be like $4.99 a month. But once that goes live on X, at least, I'm gonna open some things to subscribers. So I hope you guys will consider subscribing. I've been waiting for a year for approval. I don't get it. I see other accounts like that are massively bigger than mine, and some that are smaller than mine. They're all able to accept subscribers. But the reason I'm doing the subscriptions is because I intend to really put some work into some of my apologetic writing, more than I'm doing now. And I want to make that accessible to people, but people who want to contribute a little bit something to it, Writing on some of these subjects is not easy. And sometimes, especially for someone like me, writing on some of these subjects actually hurts. And so I just want people to have some skin in the game. It's $5 a month. And I actually did like some groundwork with people before, like, what do you call it? I did some polls, and I asked them, like, hey, if I do this, is this something you'd be interested in? And a lot of people said, yeah, I would subscribe for $4.99 a month for that. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if that's going to go into effect while I'm gone. Probably not. I mean, it's been over a year now. And every time I go back and check, it's just like, we're still waiting for review. I've sent X messages. They've never gotten back to me, other than to say, like, premium customer support will say, like, oh, well, thank you so much for reaching out. That's a different department, and there's no way for us to transfer your ticket to them. So we'll just have to see. But Yeah, so I'm excited for that to happen. But let's say that doesn't happen. Okay. While I'm gone, I'm just looking at the map here to see where he is. So he's still. Boy, I hope that's accurate. Actually, it's showing him here in the next 2 to 4 minutes. So as soon as he gets a little bit close, so I'm going to take this off for now. I just don't want to go down to the lobby, right now. But so um, and I'm going to start a long hymn. So theoretically, as soon as I push the button and I'm ready to go, this hymn should take us from the time it takes me to go down and come back, and then we can just keep this live going. And once I come back and I'm not distracted by watching for him, we'll have some prayer and some hymns and stuff. But I'm not really into it tonight because eventually it's already 10:15 California time. I feel like, so what I did today, I was on a train. Then I walked. So I went from essentially Fontana, California, if you know where that is, which is on the western edge of the greater Los Angeles. I took a train from there to Union Station in Los Angeles. Oh my gosh, it's okay, guys. I have to go. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, that's a long one. So, anyways, I've got what I needed. So, thank goodness. Now, can you imagine getting on a plane without deodorant? And I know I could have bought it at the airport tomorrow. I just like to have everything in place before you get there, but still, the idea of doing that. So, I tell you what, I'm going to end this space. All right, this live. And I'm going to get my rosary, which is in here somewhere. And we will regroup with a scriptural rosary if you want. And what do you think? Do you like that idea? Will you come back for a scriptural rosary? That takes a little bit longer than a standard rosary. But, it's the memorial of Our Lady of Fatima. Very important to me. It's my birthday, May 13th, 1977 was when I was born. That was a Friday the 13th, in case anyone's interested in that. But yeah, I think we should think about coming back for a scriptural rosary. And I'm going to think about it. We'll get stuff packed up here. So, tomorrow morning, California time, you can expect me to post like the normal stuff, which is today is the whatever day it is on the liturgical calendar. Post the scriptural readings for the day. And after that, I'll probably go silent. I'll go silent for quite a long time. We're looking at, I would guess, maybe 24 hours, maybe a little less than that. So pray for me as I'm traveling. When I get to where I'm going, I'll try to at least send something. And, I might actually, if I get to the airport early enough and get through all the process and get my Bloody Mary, I will probably open up my MacBook here. And I'm so blessed to have this. My gosh, I just love this. It's really good quality. Battery lasts forever compared to any laptop I've ever had. But while I'm at the airport tomorrow, I might open this up and we can rock and roll and have some prayers and stuff while we're at the airport. I love doing that. So again, and I still don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to go incognito or if I'm going to go full bore. I guess we'll just let the Spirit speak to us tonight. So I'm going to end this right now. And if you're interested, I might come back in a few minutes with the scriptural rosary. God be with you. And thank you so much. And, this was just us talking to each other tonight, even though only a few of you actually chatted. It's still just me reaching out to you and greeting you and thanking you for everything you do and for the prayers that I know that many of you say for me. And I hope that, if there's one intention that I would like people to start praying for, because people ask me, like, Father Chris, like, what do you want me to pray for? I want to do something for you. Pray for kindness amongst Christians, right? Apologetics, the defense of the faith, right? The explanation of the faith absolutely has a really important part in many people's Christian life, meaning like how you see the world, how you encounter the world, and how the world sees you, right? That there's no doubt. Like apologetics is very important, but apologetics has a place where where it's fitting to be there. And it sometimes has a place where it's not. And people get so upset when I say that. They're like, well, how could it ever be not okay to defend the faith? Nobody's saying that. But something that the historic faith has acknowledged virtually forever. And most people, and I don't know if this is where people are being poorly catechized, meaning it's something I have. You know what I need to do one of these days is get a hold of the curriculum for the RCIA or OCIA, whatever they call it now. That's the Roman Catholic way of like, hey, so you're interested in becoming a sacramental Christian? Well, come here, do this stuff with us, and then on Holy Saturday or whatever it is, we're going to baptize you and confirm you and stuff like that. And I send so many people that way without even knowing what the modern day curriculum is. And so I'm wondering, like, when, especially on a place like online, right? Which is what we are right now. And so, and like I said, let me just check again. Okay. One person here from YouTube, one from Twitch. And I'm thrilled you're here. Thank you for being here. And I want you to keep coming back. But the vast majority, like hundreds, are here from X. So in that online space of X, there are these groups that, like, I don't want to say they create themselves, but they're Catholics, all right? They're Roman Catholics, or they're Eastern Orthodox, or they're Protestant Christians, or they're Pentecostals, or they're whatever they are. And they build these groups. And then what naturally happens from that? Well, now that we have our group, we are the whatever we are, we have to make sure we're careful of who we allow into our group, which means what? We're saying, no. Some of you, no. You can't join us here. Even though every group I just mentioned, Roman Catholic, Orthodox, Evangelical Christian, mainline Protestant, whatever, with a few exceptions, and this would be in some weird Protestant scenario, but not most of them that we see online, actually. Every single one of them has a valid belief in the triune God, the Trinity. Virtually all of them, with that other exception, so we're not even going to really worry about that. But virtually all of them have a valid baptism. What does that mean? That means that when someone who's different than you, or not in your group, has a human being, that's one thing you need, has water, that's another thing you need, and has the intention of what the church does to baptize in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit for the remission of sins. These people are doing that. What does that mean? They're making Christians. Someone who goes through that, totally separated from the historic faith, right? Totally separate from sacramental Christianity and the apostolic faith, right? And yet, and by totally separated, what I mean by that is that intellectually they're very separated. Now, spiritually they're not. They're baptizing people, and they're doing it properly. That's a continuity with the apostolic faith, which makes them what? Imperfectly connected to the apostolic faith, because they're doing the work of the apostolic faith. They're doing what Jesus asked us to do and what the apostles asked us to do. Are they doing it fully in line with the apostolic faith? No, they're not. But are they making Christians? And that's just a way that I'm speaking right now. That, only God makes Christians, but you understand what I'm saying, right? They're bringing people in. People are repenting of their sins and their prior life. They're accepting this Jesus as the Messiah, as the Son of God, as the eternal second person of the Trinity. And then they're being baptized. What do you have after all that? You have a Christian. That's what you have. And so my prayer is that even though we're so different from one another, many of us, right? Myself included, right? My prayer is that we will start to treat each other a little bit better. Do you know why? So we can go to heaven. Imagine someone coming into the body of Christ through baptism, even if it's through a group or whatever that's not fully in line with me or you or the Pope or the Patriarch, whatever, but they're still Christians. Let's pray for them. Okay, God be with you. I'm going to end this now. And so pray for me in case you don't see me back tonight, because it's possible. But theoretically, if everything goes well, in just a few minutes, we'll be back for a scriptural rosary before bedtime. And pray for me for my trip tomorrow, and I'll be praying for you. God's peace be with you. Good night.